Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two-Man Game. As always, I'm Cone. This is Ryan. We are your hosts. It's been a little bit. The NBA season is in full swing. We've gotten about 14, 15-ish games into the season. Our two teams are on very different sides of the NBA spectrum.
What do you mean, bro?
That's true. Ryan is now repping the Spurs after leaving the Sixers fandom because they are literally the worst team in the NBA right now, or tied for it with the Wizards. But yeah, it's been a little bit. We're excited to talk some hoops with y'all real quick. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy the episode. Go ahead and rate 5 stars, download on podcast platforms if you're listening over there. Come over to the YouTube if you want to see a little bit more visual. We're going to be going through some trade ideas and stuff like that today, so that might help you a little bit if you want to kind of digest it a little bit more easy. But yeah, we're back. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I just got back from Texas about a week and a half ago. I went down and played a big disc golf tournament. Didn't do super well, but then I played a really big one locally and did really well, so I was happy with that. When I was in Texas, I caught a San Antonio Spurs game. It was the toilet bowl, you might call it, because it was the San Antonio Spurs versus the Blazers. You know, some real hoops right there.
Hey, I mean, Blazers have won 3 in a row ever since Chauncey Billups said that their guys shouldn't be able to sleep because, or if they were able to sleep after that loss, they were losers. They've won 3 games in a row, so they're putting it together a little bit.
But yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. Ready to talk some hoops. I've been watching. It sucks because getting into the season when your favorite players are all hurt is really tough. Like, could you imagine if the Thunder season started and I know Chet's hurt now, so it's kind of a sore subject, but imagine if Shea, Chet, and J-Dub all were out to start the year. You would probably still watch the Thunder because you're a diehard, but it just wouldn't hit the same. You know what I mean? So that's why it was hard for Philly for me to get started. And then I started watching games, Embiid finally coming back, Paul George finally coming back, and then Maxey gets hurt. But luckily, Jared McCain's been the sunshine to my life. So
yeah, rookie of the year right now.
I think I might need to make some TikToks in honor of him at some point. So
shout the TikTok goat.
That's my rookie of the year right there. Let me tell you.
He is the rookie of the year, not even just yours. He should be everyone's. But yeah, so today we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about every team, and we're going to do it through the lens of this trade article that Ryan went ahead and found for us. That is not the right setting. There's the right one. It's one trade that every NBA team should propose right now. It comes over from Bleacher Report, and we're just going to go through and see kind of what some more ideas are, so we have a chance to talk about every team. This came out about a week ago. I think it was 6 days ago specifically, so something might be slightly outdated in this article at some points, but overall should be pretty up to date. Right now, actually, as we're recording this too, the Celtics and Cavs are playing. Cavs are 15-0 at the moment. The Boston Celtics are 11-3. They're at the 2 seed. So it's a big matchup. So we might give you some updates on that throughout. But obviously, by the time you see this episode, it'll have already happened for you. Oh, yeah. And then my Thunder are the 1 seed over in the Western Conference, playing Ryan Spurs tonight, actually.
Yes, sir. And real quick, before we get into this, to go ahead and boost our algorithm, because it's been a while, so we want to make sure our podcast gets seen by everybody. Go ahead and comment something that we didn't say in the podcast to make the people riled up. So say something like, I cannot believe Cone said the Thunder should trade Shea, or I cannot believe Ryan said that Sixers should trade Maxey to the Celtics. Something crazy that we definitely did not say. Just stir the pot a little bit in the comments. Get the algorithm going for us. So let's go ahead and get started and get into it. Let's do it.
Yeah, go ahead and help us out there. We appreciate it. Every time Ryan asks y'all to do that, y'all go crazy.
I know, and then Connor and I will text each other screenshots of the comments. We read all the comments, so we love sending them back and forth to each other. So definitely put some fun stuff in there for us to read. Give me something to do at work in between patients. That would be fun.
Help Ryan out.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got our first trade.
So the first trade we have going into it, I believe this will be alphabetically, is the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, look at that.
And there's my guy Ousmane Dieng, Thunder legend, showing up first. But the trade suggestion is the Hawks get Ousmane Dieng, Jay Will, a 2025 first-round pick, and the Thunder get Larry Nance Jr. and Vit Krejci, who is a Thunder legend. So the Thunder get a return of another guy. But this obviously goes back to what Ryan referenced a little bit earlier, that Chet Holmgren is out for about 10 weeks. It might be a little bit longer. He's going to miss a substantial portion of the season. It seems like he's slated to return probably either immediately following the All-Star break or more so beginning of March. But it's going to be a little while. Thankfully, Isaiah Hartenstein is returning soon, because right now we're running micro ball with J-Dub at the 5 for the most part. We're just running all guards and wings. And it's gotten the Thunder some pretty good results. I mean, they've only got 1 loss in the stretch that they've played with that. They haven't played the best teams in the world. It was the Clippers. It was the beat-up Pelicans. It was the Mavericks, who didn't have Luka, but also the Thunder without Chet, Ihart, and Alex Caruso in that game too. And that one was really fun. It came down to Lou Dort having a 3 at the end to try and win the game that he ultimately missed. And then tonight they're playing the Spurs, but there will be no Wemby. And then the Blazers don't aren't seemingly going to have DeAndre Ayton. So they've gotten kind of lucky with the big man that they've had to play in this stretch until Ihart comes back. But once he gets back, the Thunder's big man rotation still won't be phenomenal. It'll be okay, though. It'll hold up better. And this is just a suggestion to get the Thunder some front court help with Larry Nance, get the Hawks a guy in Ousmane Dieng, who's put together some pretty solid minutes for us so far this season. It's been nothing too crazy, but he's been a lot more reliable than he's been over the course of his past few seasons. So, yeah, I mean, this is one I wouldn't go with as a Thunder fan, just because I don't want to give up Ooze and Jay Will as a backup big who's been pretty solid. When he gets back, he'll also be in the rotation. And a first round pick, I wouldn't want to give all that up for Larry Nance Jr. We don't really need Veet back. Again, Shao Thunder legend, but yeah, we don't really need him back necessarily. If we could just do like a first round pick and someone other than like an Ousmane Dieng or Jay Will for Larry Nance Jr., then I'm cool with it. I would give them a first because we have a million of them, but I don't know. I don't think we really need that much help. I think once we get healthy, we'll be fine.
Yeah, this trade's kind of like it's like a wash for me, but I do like the idea of OKC dealing for around the edges. I know we talked about this at the beginning of the season, and I know you don't want to break up the boys, but I do really think that just because I think OKC got really lucky last year with health, like you had pretty much the whole squad most of the year, and now you're finally seeing like, oh shoot, someone's out for an extended period of time. I do think with all these assets, there's like, you don't want to make a panic move necessarily, but I do think improving the depth in case something were to happen would be helpful. Like I think they should, even when Ihart comes back, I don't think it's a bad idea to, get another experienced big on the roster just in case. You never know what could happen with Jet. So I think it's a good idea. And like you said, they have so many assets. Like at some point you can't just keep drafting people. Like I know OKC likes finding these young gems, but at some point, got to wheel and deal a little bit. You got to use your stuff that you got.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. One thing that's probably interesting too, it's obviously not front court help, but I wouldn't mind us getting a little bit more shot creation overall in the roster. That would probably be more like a guard type of role.
We'll have to see what your trade is. Maybe it's someone different. Maybe it's a shot creator when we get there.
We'll see. The Celtics. It's Amir Coffey for Jaden Springer and a 2025 second round pick. Nothing much. I mean, the Celtics really don't need to make a move, in my opinion. They don't have to make any type of acquisition. I wouldn't hate Amir Coffey for this team.
No, Coffey would be a good pickup, but I don't see the Clippers doing it, especially because they probably want to evaluate their team with Kawhi first before they actually trade someone.
Yeah, and I just don't see a lot of value for the Celtics in breaking up anything they have going on right now. Everybody's playing well. Like Peyton Pritchard's been awesome for them coming off the bench, and Sam Hauser's gone through a little bit of a slump to start the season, but he'll
get some positive regression, I feel like.
Yeah, he was great last year. I don't think that's going to linger for too long. I don't really think the Celtics have to make a move. For the Nets, this is Obi Toppin and Jarris Walker, and the Pacers get Dorian Finney-Smith and Day'Ron Sharpe.
Jarris Walker is way too much for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, man. I'm not giving up Jarris Walker, but the Pacers could use some help. They've been decimated by injuries and just been disappointing to start this season. Obviously, no Neesmith right now, no Nembhard, Miles Turner. It's a shame because James Wiseman actually started the season like decently after all the stuff that's gone on with him in his early career.
I like Isaiah Jackson a lot too, man, and that sucks also.
Just constant injuries to the Pacers, in addition to Halliburton just being bad so far to start this season.
Dude, so we will never forget NBA Cup Halliburton from last year. May he rest in peace.
He was special, man. He was special.
Something about Pacers in like very niche moments, like Bubble Warren. Now we have NBA.
They do seem to have that weird aspect to them, don't they? Eastern Conference Finals run Andrew Nembhard potentially. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the Cavs have a lot of those weird instances. It feels like. Pacers. I just watched Jason Tatum hit a three against the Cavs, so that's what distracted me there. By the way, Celtics up 16 right now. They're really putting it together. But yeah, I mean, for the Pacers, I keep hoping they'll figure it out. I think once Halliburton gets more to himself and they get healthier, they'll be better. But it's just been disappointing. For the Nets, I mean, I like this. I would love for them to get Jarris Walker off a Dorian Finney-Smith Day'Ron Sharpe package. I was really high on him going to the draft. I still think he could be really good if he's given more and more opportunities. But I just don't see the Pacers giving up a guy they just took top 10 for Dorian Finney-Smith at this point in his career. If it was like Cam Johnson, maybe they would consider it a little bit more.
I think that does seem way more like a Cam Johnson package, I think.
Yeah, I'm not giving up Jarris for Dorian Finney-Smith. But apparently the Nets are open to trade basically anybody. I don't know if you saw this morning.
They have their own pick back, right?
Yeah, they do. So I don't know if you saw this morning that Cam Thomas could even be potentially available.
Now, his trade value is really interesting because he's volume scorer, but hasn't played on a winning team before. You know what I mean? And this is like his first time in a high role. His value would be very interesting to me on like the open market.
I think there would be someone that'd be willing to take a shot. And I'd love to see Cam Thomas in a winning situation to see what it could look like.
I can't even think of a team that could use. I'm trying to think what team would he be good on.
Well, let's go ahead. I'll flip over to the standings real quick.
How much money does he make? He can't make that much money, right?
Cam Thomas does not make that much money now.
Dude, you said shot creation. Oklahoma City, they could, y'all could lob like 4 firsts for him and just say F it. There's your shot creation, dude.
Cam Thomas right now, he's a restricted free agent this summer, so you have to find someone who's willing to pay him. I don't think we're willing to pay him like that, but he's making only $4 million right now.
Dude,
so
I think you would have to give up 4 first-round picks for him because he makes $4 million.
4? I don't think you.
Yep.
No, because you have to pay him. If he was making $4 million like on a continuous contract for years,
that's true. I think at least 2. At least 2 then.
I think 2 first-round picks could be fair.
And good ones. I'm not talking about no crap like top 20 protected.
You know who could use him? The Timberwolves.
Oh, wait. No, you want to use him as the Bucks.
The Bucks need someone who's going to defend at all. That's what they need.
Outscore everybody.
Also fair. The Heat low-key could kind of use him.
Oh, he'd be a good heater. He'd be a good heater.
Who else could use
Orlando. Ooh, Orlando.
I was going to say Orlando would be kind of fun. Put him in Orlando.
Get some package of like Cole Anthony. Some.
So if you get like an Anthony Black,
yeah,
out of it, I don't know what they'd be willing to give up, but I don't know, man. Cam Thomas is very interesting.
What's the name of the kid? Like De Silva, whoever they just drafted.
Tristan De Silva, yeah,
yeah. Maybe like him, Black. I don't know. Some picks. Who knows?
There are some options. I wouldn't hate him as like a Spur either.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. Chris Paul under his wing.
Chris Paul under his wing, not Cam Thomas under Chris Paul's wing.
Cam Thomas is going to teach Chris. Dude,
he's going to teach him how to get buckets at this point in his career.
Quick side story. I know this is kind of outdated because this is like 2 weeks ago I went to the game, but the amount of times where I wonder if Wemby was dealing with the knee injury at the time because it really was confusing watching him play and seeing him kind of just like stand around. And Chris Paul was just dribbling around the court, trying so hard to get Wemby the ball, and he was just sitting there kind of like arms crossed, like, all right, bald man, make a move. Let's see it. And Chris Paul is very clearly trying to get him the rock. And I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, it's been a continued struggle. Although the fact that Wemby's hitting 1 million threes per game recently definitely helps that out a little bit. So,
and it was also really funny because I went to the game with 2 of my boys that they're like casual basketball fans, like they knew who Wemby was, but they had never like seen him play or anything. And I'm like, dang, this is a really bad first game to see Wemby play.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I went to his first summer league game, and the arena was so packed, there was crazy energy, and he was just really rough in that first summer league game.
I'm glad that when I went to see him play the Wizards, he was pretty nasty. So,
yeah, later summer league games I saw him in, he was ridiculous, and I'm going to see him later this year, hopefully. So that'd be cool too. I mean, I will see him, I guess, in Paris.
There you go.
There. The Hornets. Robert Williams in exchange for Vasilij Micic. Bless you. Ryan's about to sneeze like 6 times in a row. That's what it is every time. There's 3.
Oh,
there's
man.
4.
Apologies.
4's actually not bad for Ryan.
Yeah. People at work play the over-under game when I start sneezing. They start yelling out numbers. They're like 4, 5, 3. It's pretty funny.
It's got to be 4. It's always 4 to 6, it feels like.
Ooh, I like this trade.
Yeah, Micic, 2 second-round picks for Robert Williams. With the way he's playing to start his season, the last few games, he's been absolutely ridiculous. He's only played 4 games, but he's been a monster in those games. You might have to give up a little bit more, but I guess with the injury concerns, it's like always a little bit of a risk. But I think Portland asked for probably a first-round pick of some kind, even if it's protected. But I would love Robert Williams here in Charlotte because
me too.
Mark Williams is a great big man when he's healthy. Unfortunately, he's not very often healthy. He hasn't played so far this season. And Rob Will has looked great with Portland.
And I think Portland really should get off of him, man. Like with Ayton and Klingon, like if you don't draft Klingon if Rob Will's a part of your future plans. You know,
and Klingon's been really good in the limited minutes that he's gotten this season.
So I think because now it's just kind of like an awkward rotation now that Rob's back. So I really think they should sell high. Like you said, it's only been 4 games, but I think you could sell high. Not that this package is a selling high package, but I think they would honestly get a little bit more than this.
Yeah,
but
I keep scrolling over that top bar at the top of the screen.
Also, I love seeing that sentence that says Charlotte starting center is currently Taj Gibson. Is hilarious. Even though I did see a highlight of him on my Twitter the other day.
Yeah, Taj Gibson had a poster not too long ago.
Sure.
But yeah, I want to see Robert Williams play for a better team. Also,
y'all should have signed Taj Gibson, man. He could have been your center.
Thunder legend already. Nah, I'll take J-Dub.
Oh, is this Levine to the Magic? Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, so the trade cannot be completed
Oh, it's our
until
Cam
January
Thomas
6th.
package.
It's the Cam Thomas deal.
Cam Thomas package.
It's Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, Tristan Da Silva, and a first-round pick for Torrey Craig and Zach LaVine. LaVine has been great this season. He's playing really well. The Bulls have been a lot more fun than I was expecting they were going to be. And
But remember last time the Bulls were way more fun than we thought they were going to be. They were like the 1 seed to start the year, and then they
yeah. Well, right now they're fun, but also bad, which is where they should be at this moment. For the Magic, I don't think I want to give up Jonathan Isaac, though. I don't think I'm willing to give up someone who's that good of a defender for a team whose main thing is defense. I would like the idea of Zach LaVine with this team, giving them another bucket getter, but I don't think I'm willing to give up Isaac in that package. If you can find a way to get it done without giving him up, I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could throw. There's got to be another player that you could throw in there.
Yeah. For the Bulls, though, I would love the idea of getting – because right now they're very guard heavy in that young core, but if you can get Da Silva, if you can get Jonathan Isaac and a first-round pick, and Cole Anthony, who's been bad this season, but you can probably flip him, and if not, then you don't have to commit too much long-term to him. So
I do think there's a common theme here with Orlando that even though Paolo's gone right now and he'll come back and be that scoring punch that they need, I do think everyone thinks that Orlando needs a bucket getter next to him.
I would like that. I mean, Franz has been great. The fact that the Magic have won 6 in a row.
Maybe this is a blessing for Franz, because we were talking about how Franz needs to step up in order for Orlando to kind of take that next step. And I think he looks way better than last year. I know
he's been awesome.
He's gotten more of the green light with Paolo not playing. But I think if he can, hopefully this is just like building confidence and, getting him in this mindset that he is one of the dudes of the team. So
yeah, he had 29. Well, he only had 29 points against the Pacers only because if he had scored one more point, he would have 4 straight 30-point games right now. He's been a machine, and they've won 6 in a row, despite Paolo, who was averaging 29 before he went down, going down. For the Cavs, it's Larry Nance Jr. for George Niang, 2 second-round picks. I mean, Larry Nance comes back to the Cavs would be fun, but if I'm Cleveland right now, I'm not trying to shake anything up because it's working. You're 15-0. If we see a little bit of regression from them right now at halftime, they're down 17 to the Boston Celtics.
Oh, blow it up. Blow it up.
Blow it up. Trade everyone. They were bound to lose at some point. They honestly could still make this happen. The Celtics have been a little bit more prone to giving up leads throughout the season, it feels like. But, I mean, I'm just not – definitely not at this point. If you're around the deadline and you're a little bit worse and you want to make some type of improvement, I like this idea a lot because Larry Nance has been good this season, and I do think adding him to this team would be fun. But I'm not changing anything right now.
Shout out Ty Jerome, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to UVA.
Also, Niang's been playing pretty good. I don't know if they want to trade him either.
Yeah. Mavericks get Aaron Wiggins for Maxi Cleveland, a first-round pick. This trade sucks.
So real quick, it was funny. So I got an idea that we should talk about this article because I was watching Kenny Beecham's video. He was going over this article. I was watching it on my drive home from work the other day, and he also was like, OKC fans aren't going to like this one. So I was really excited to come across this one and see your reaction.
This trade sucks for the Thunder. Wiggins has been one of the team's best players, one of the most reliable shooters. And he's one of the Thunder's best players on an absolutely insanely cheap contract going forward for the next 4 seasons. Why would they ever do this? We don't need another first-round pick. We definitely don't need Maxi Kleber, who's not been great for the Mavericks this season.
I do like the idea of y'all getting a stretch big, but I think it would not for Aaron Wiggins. Yeah, what if that was Jalen? What if that was like Jalen Williams?
Still no. I would still give me J. Will. Maxi Kleber deals with injury and also just he's older. I don't really want to deal with that.
What does he say? Does he say anything about why it's good for y'all?
Basically says that we need a little bit more size with Chet Holmgren injured, but I'm not giving up Aaron Wiggins to deal with like a problem that's going to be fixed later in the season. I'm not giving him up.
Meanwhile, talking about Wiggins being a monster get for the Mavericks, which is true, but
yeah, absolutely. He would be an insane pickup for the Mavericks, but not a chance we're giving him up. For the Nuggets, it's Cody Martin and Nick Richards for Zeke Naji, Dario Saric, and 2 first-round swaps.
I mean, that's all the Nuggets can really do. They don't got anything to trade.
This doesn't really move the needle for me, though. If I'm the Nuggets, like Cody Martin and Nick Richards, I don't think change that much for me. I would like to see
those are at least NBA players on a bench.
I'd rather go for like Larry Nance if I'm the Nuggets over Nick Richards or Cody Martin.
I agree.
And I don't want to give up 2 first-round swaps for this package. If I'm giving up 2 swaps, I need a way better package than this.
I think the issue is that like Zeke Naji, I think he's like him and Dario are making like 16 mil combined, right?
Yeah. Najee's making a little bit more. Dar's contract, I don't think is very much at all.
I think Najee's making like 8 to 10. I could be wrong, but
yeah, they definitely need help behind Jokic at the big man.
They just need bodies.
They do need bodies. I just don't think that package is the answer.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe I do agree with you. I kind of like the Larry Nance. If Larry Nance, maybe not that package, but a Larry Nance for a first round swap and maybe something. I don't know. I don't hate that.
Yeah. Pistons. Yusuf Nurkic and a 2031 first round pick for Isaiah Stewart. What a weird trade. I don't want Nurkic if I'm the Pistons. I have no desire for Nurkic, who's been bad this season at all.
Just them to get off Stewart and get a pick.
But like Stewart's been good this season, it feels like. I've liked Stewart's minutes so far.
They're playing him with Duren, right? Like they're playing together. Or is he playing strictly backup?
Well, Stewart's been doing, I mean, he's been playing a lot of backup big for them. He's just been so good defensively, really is the thing. And the Pistons right now are one of the better defensive teams in the league. And Stewart's a big part of that. I'm not giving him up for Nurkic, who's just bad, and a first round pick. Like, sure, that 2031 Suns pick will probably be cool. But if you're the Pistons, you're trying to be competitive right now. And I just don't like the idea of Nurkic at all because, like, Duren is not good defensively at all, but neither is Nurkic. And I'm not giving up one of my better defensive bigs for a guy who's not going to help me out at all on that end when that's my current identity. So,
also good for the Pistons already winning 7 games.
Yeah, they're already halfway to last year's win total, and we're only a month into the season, not even. For the Warriors, Brandon Ingram for Guy Santos, Andrew Wiggins, a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks, and then the Raptors get involved and get Gary Payton II and a 2026 second round.
This is kind of going off what you were saying. I think the Warriors are looking really good right now. So there's you have like 2 avenues here, right? I think everyone thinks the Warriors are due for some regression just based on the roster. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think so. And so
they're shooting the ball like completely lights out. I do think there's like I think they are a good team. They're not going to fall to be like a 12 seed like I thought they were going to be going into it. I think I had them at the 11 or 10 seed at the end. But I don't know if they're going to be in competition with like the Thunder for the 1 seed all season.
But I guess what I was going to say with this trade, it's like, do you break kind of like what you're talking about with the Cavs? Do you just let it run its course because you're 10-3 when you weren't supposed to be 10-3? Like, do you let the team run its course, or is this like a move that like, oh snap, like this was like some early run magic. Now we're at the deadline and we're 500. We need to get another guy. Like, you know what I mean?
I think for this, I don't want to sound like a hater. I don't think the Warriors, as currently constructed, would win a championship.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
So I know they've been good, but I don't think they're beating some of the best teams in the West, mainly because I just don't, in a playoff environment, I don't know how they get it done enough offensively. Defensively, they've been insane. Draymond is probably top 3 defensive player of the year conversations right now. But like, Melton already got hurt. Buddy Hield, this from experience, is going to be in for some regression at some point.
100%. He's gonna forget how to play basketball here coming soon.
I do think if the Warriors want to win a championship again, they would need to add another guy. And I do like the idea of Ingram. To me, this feels like a trade that would happen at the deadline, like you were talking about, where say the Warriors, even like whether they're still playing really good or they've taken a little bit of a step back, the Pelicans have been so decimated by injuries. No CJ, no DeJounte, no Zion. Trey Murphy was hurt for part of the season, and Herb Jones. Everybody's been hurt at one point or another. Brandon Ingram's been playing really well in the meantime. But if the Pelicans continue to be bad, they have their pick this season and the Bucks pick, which the Bucks have been looking better. I do still think they're going to be a playoff team. But that could be a pick that wouldn't be too bad. Like, you could get 2 decent picks. This might be going into next season, one where they pivot. Like, they might trade Ingram here at the deadline because he's not under contract for next season. You build up his value, you trade him at the deadline, get pieces back, and then you reevaluate how you want to orchestrate the team. Is it still having Zion be your guy because he's injured again for a significant period of time? You just traded for DeJounte. What do you do with him? What happens with CJ? So in my opinion, it just all depends if the Pelicans can get healthy or not and what they look like around the deadline. But this doesn't feel too unrealistic. Now, Wiggins' contract, Wiggins has been playing better. If I'm the Pelicans,
I want one of the young guys. If I'm taking on Wiggins, I would
probably try and see if I could get
Kuminga, Moody, Pods, Trace. I need one of them.
I would say I would probably try and get Kuminga who has not been extended by the Warriors. Podge has been playing bad so far this season, but the Warriors love him, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I wouldn't mind getting Kuminga. Like, that would probably be a way I try to go with it. Although I wouldn't hate. Honestly, I would probably take Kuminga over that first round pick if you can make that work, and maybe be willing to send the Warriors another piece of some kind. Like, I don't know, would they want a Jose Alvarado or someone like that?
He kind of seems like he would honestly be a Warriors backup point guard. I don't know why that seems really fitting.
It feels like he could, if Melton kept dealing with injury, he could try and fit into that role. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm the Warriors, I do like the idea of adding another star, someone who can give you more of an offensive punch. You do, in my opinion, need a real second option next to Steph to try and compete for a championship this season. So, yeah, I don't hate this from any side, really. If the Pelicans, I think I try to get a little bit more value for Ingram, who's playing really well. But with him being expiring, I guess you don't have all the leverage in the world. So,
yeah.
All right, the Rockets. Right now, it's Duncan Robinson for Jacques Landale, Jayshawn Tate, and a 2026 second-round pick.
This is just a whole lot of mid for me.
Yeah, it kind of feels like making a trade to make a trade.
Yeah, it's like the deadline comes around, you're like, we want to be included too. I mean, the Rockets are 10-5, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind adding Duncan Robinson to this team. I think he could be kind of fun. They could use some more offensive punch. They're this great defensive team.
I just feel like I think we've talked about this before. I think they just have too many players, I think. Like, they already, you know what I mean?
With the Rockets, in my opinion, I don't think they might make some type of move around the deadline, something a little bit smaller. But for me, it just feels like they're biding time until that big trade becomes available, and they deal a bunch of guys away. And because this is totally the consolidation trade that everyone's clamoring for the Rockets. It feels inevitable they're going to make one at some point. I mean, this obviously they're not saying that this is the consolidation trade, but I do think like they're going to hold on to their assets to just see what happens. And I feel like with where the Rockets are right now, they would just try and shoot a little bit higher than Duncan Robinson. So, yeah. Pacers, Haywood Highsmith for two second round picks.
I mean, I don't like it for the Pacers. I don't know why the Heat would do it, but
yeah, I don't think the Heat do this.
Pat Riley doesn't ever punt.
Yeah, it says, are the Heat interested in carving out more wiggle room beneath the second apron and opening up other trade possibilities? If the Heat just were like still playing bad, maybe they consider dealing off some guys. But yeah, the Heat don't punt, so I don't see this happening. Clippers, Kobe White for Terrence Mann and a 2031 first-round pick. I don't see any way the Bulls do this.
Yeah, I think the Bulls probably have Kobe White on a pedestal right now. Like, I think you'd have to give up a mountain for him.
Yeah, he's one of their solidified core pieces at this moment, especially when they eventually.
The Clippers don't want to trade Terrence Mann, remember?
they don't want to trade Terrence Mann for anything. Yeah, and I just don't think. To me, if the Clippers are going to make a move, they're taking a swing. Honestly, I would more so expect that the Clippers go all out and say, screw it, we're going to trade for Zach LaVine and see if we can make something happen. If they were like playing decent by the time Kawhi comes back, I guess at this point, then maybe they consider like, hey, we could take a swing on somebody. Mm-hmm. LaVine's interesting with the way he's been playing. I don't know how they would necessarily make the money work. I think there's a path somewhere monetarily. They'd have to give up quite a few guys. They'll kind of gut the roster a little bit. So yeah, maybe it's not something that could really happen, but I don't know. For the Clippers, I just feel like it's at this point, it's a matter of if you're going to go all in, go all in. I wouldn't mind them getting a young player in Kobe, but like this package isn't getting it done. If Kobe White is available, which I don't think he is, unless it's like a really good offer, Terrence Mann in a 2030 first round pick's not doing it.
Nope.
Lakers, Big Vooch, D'Angelo
shoot.
Russell, Christian Wood, and a 2025 second round pick.
I don't think they trade D'Lo for Vucevic.
I don't know if they do. I mean, he's been better in the role that they've kind of switched him to as of late, rather than, he's not really being that. He's no longer in the starting lineup. It's been him coming off the bench and more so operating second units, and I've liked him better in that role. The Lakers have kind of gotten a little bit back to their winning ways that they started the season with. And like the trade article says, they're looking for a talented big, and Vooch has been playing the best basketball of his Bulls tenure to start the season.
Oh, no. People were hating on Vooch. I didn't think he was that bad. I've been a Vooch apologist.
I was a Vooch hater, 100%. I will completely admit I was a Vooch hater.
I just always thought he was the stereotypical, like, he's not gonna win. Like he's like okay. Like, you know,
It was just last season, what was it, like 28% from three? Let me find his exact stats. And then this season he's back shooting like 40% from the outside. Last season he's shooting 49% from three right now.
Gosh dang! But
last season he shot 29% last season. So that's the big difference for me, is just the efficiency has been a lot better.
Around a bunch of bozos last year.
That's true. I mean, the Bulls are bad this season still, but I don't know. Vooch has been better. He's putting up around 20 points per game. My only thing is this doesn't really move the needle for me for the Lakers. Like, they add some more size, but the problem for them has been the defense so far. Like, offensively, they've been sick. Vooch doesn't help you on that defensive end. So I don't know. I don't love this.
Not to mention, you already got AD at the big man position. I feel like if they're going to improve the defense, it should be on the outside.
Like, D'Lo also, he's one of your last like decently sized tradable contracts outside of like LeBron and AD, someone that you could package for a difference maker. I don't know if Vooch is the guy that I'm looking for here.
No, I agree.
The Grizzlies, Desmond Bane, John Morant, Jaren Jackson, everybody's been dealing with injuries again. So the article is suggesting it's DeAndre Hunter and Vit Krejci.
Another injury man in DeAndre Hunter, another UVA legend who's always hurt.
Yeah, but the Hawks get Brandon Clark, John Contra, 2027 second-round pick, and a 2031 first-round pick.
This guy's a whole lot of mid.
I just think the Grizzlies need to get healthy. That's really my thing. And DeAndre Hunter is not someone that is the most reliable when it comes to being healthy. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really love this idea. To me, it's a matter of getting everybody on the court for the Grizzlies, and adding another injury-prone guy doesn't really move the needle for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Miami Heat.
Boy.
Here's maybe the Warriors splash trade.
Yeah.
The Heat get Kuminga, Melton, Wiggins, 3 first-round picks, and a second-round pick. Warriors get Jimmy Butler, Bruno Fernando, and Josh Richardson.
I mean, they really want to send Gary Payton to Toronto.
This is the second time that GP2 has been sent to the Raptors. GP2 to the Raptors plus 2 second-round picks.
Wow. Where did we start with this one?
Yeah, it's Jimmy's been bad this season for the most part.
He led up the Sixers last night.
I was going to say, until he played the Sixers and then cooked them, which was very Jimmy-esque with the revenge narrative there.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is interesting.
Is that too much for Jimmy?
I mean, he's getting up there in age. I do think that's probably too much for Jimmy. I don't know if I'm willing to give up Kuminga, who's one of my more interesting young prospects, and Melton, who's been good for me, and Wiggins, who's been good for me, although the contract is sizable. Plus
3 firsts and a swap.
3 firsts and a swap? That's too much for Jimmy. I'm not giving up 3 firsts and a swap.
And Kuminga.
Oh, yeah, and GP2's involved in that too, is one of your better defenders. I just think right now the strength of the Warriors has been their depth. You completely gut that depth in this trade, which, you will still have players that can make it work. And again, I think they need a second option next to Steph if they want to win a championship. And I've always said with Jimmy, as much as I like him and as cool as some of the runs he's had are, I don't think he's capable of winning a championship as a number 1 guy. He needs someone to be the number 1, and he could be the number 2 that takes over in some moments. Like,
I do like him and Steph as a pairing, though.
I do like the idea of Jimmy and Steph together. I just don't think that I'm willing to give up this much to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to pay him this offseason too. So
I don't think Pat Riley does this either, even though they get a haul back.
Yeah.
I don't think Pat Riley's going to give up on them.
The Bucks. It's Dylan Brooks and Tari Eason for Chris Middleton in a 2031 first. The Rockets don't take this.
I think the Bucks would take it in a heartbeat. I think
if I'm the Bucks, I take this in a heartbeat. Absolutely. 1,000%.
I don't see any reason why the Rockets would do this other than the fact they get off, I guess, Dylan Brooks' contract.
Like, Tari Eason's been one of the best bench players in the league. He's been a near all defensive caliber guy coming for them off the bench. And he's really young as well. Dylan Brooks has been really good for them so far this season. Chris hasn't played. He had double ankle surgeries. Why would the Rockets ever consider this?
We'll see. What does it say? I'm curious.
Milwaukee needs athleticism and perimeter defense. That's true.
Well, what about the Rockets, though?
Yeah. Selling Houston on this will be hard. Middleton can help the offense without infringing upon others, and his contract expires this summer. Really, though, the Bucks need the Rockets to cover the 2031 first rounder. Yeah, I just don't see any reason why they would go for this. Because it's not like they're going to have cap space even if Middleton expires, because they just extended Şengün and Jalen Green.
I like how it's top 1 protected too.
Top 1 protection's great.
And then turns into a second rounder if not conveyed. Could you imagine, bro, if you traded for that pick, they get the first overall pick, and then you get a freaking second?
You get a second in Chris Middleton for 2 of your best defensive players and high energy guys.
I think pretty much what it means is if they get the first overall pick, then you get the 31st pick, essentially. So,
yeah, not a fan.
Nah.
Not a fan of. That's one of my least favorite ones so far. Let's see. We've got
Delano Banton
to the Timberwolves.
One of the trades of all time.
For PJ Dozier in a 2026 second round pick. I don't know. I like it. I mean, I think it's fine. Banton's been good.
I would say Delano Banton looked. I watched him in the Spurs game, and it was his birthday, and he was kind of balling. So I'm with it.
Birthday Banton was going nuts.
He was.
Yeah, Banton's fun. He's a good player. I guess. I mean, the Wolves could use another ball handler, someone else to pick up some of those guard responsibilities. Sure, I would do this because Banton's a good player, and it's just a second round pick in PJ Dozier. I don't know why the Blazers do this though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Banton could be part of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans, another Ingram trade. Grizzlies get BI, Brandon Clark, Marcus Smart, Vince Williams, and a 2025 first round
pick.
I
really like that for the Grizzlies. I don't think that package entices the Pelicans though.
Yeah, although it's interesting. If you feel pretty certain that Ingram's going to walk for nothing and you need to take a deal.
But only if this is like the one on the table. Like if we have this on the table and then the Warriors on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I take
like this is the only offer that's there for you. I would consider it because Clark gives you a big man, which you desperately need some help there in the front court. Marcus Smart is a really fun defensive player, and he feels flippable if he doesn't fit. Vince Williams is a fun young player who had some really good moments last season, and you get a first round pick. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Like you said, if this was the only deal on the table, I could see it going through. Mm-hmm. But I'd be stunned if that was the best that they could get for him, if he was like completely on the table.
Yeah, I do think they would get a better offer than this if they're like, hey, Brandon Ingram's available.
I do like him on the Grizzlies, though. That's a pretty nasty lineup.
I do like that idea.
I
think they need
Ingram,
more.
Jaren, and Edey. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I agree.
The Knicks, Tamuni Kamara and Robert Williams for campaign Mitchell Robinson and a first round pick.
I actually kind of rock with that.
I rock. If I'm the Knicks, I rock with this. Like Rob is hurt a lot. Rob Will is hurt a lot. Whatever. Sure, you just swap injury-prone bigs, but at least right now Robert Williams is healthy, and I do think if he's healthy and on the court, I take Robert Williams over Mitchell Robinson.
100%. The defensive upside is way up there, and so that's kind of nice because you kind of have Towns and Rob Will. I feel like are exact opposite centers, and so I feel like having both of them on the roster kind of allows you to play around with the lineup a little bit. And then Kamara is like a very Tibbs player. I feel like as well.
Yeah. Like Robert Williams right now is averaging 1.8 offensive rebounds in about 19.8 minutes per game. So he grabs you offensive boards. Kamara has been great defensively this season for the Blazers. I don't think the Blazers make this move because they like Tamuni Kamara. I think he's a player they really don't want to give up. Mm-hmm. If they could get a little bit more from the Knicks or like a third team's involved somehow, then they consider this. Especially because like they're getting back Mitchell Robinson, who's a big man that I don't really know if they're I feel like in this scenario, they would want to send Mitchell Robinson to a third team. Maybe like they send him to the Lakers and the Lakers give the Blazers some type of asset. Then I think I'm more interested if I'm Portland.
Well, I'm interested. How do the Knicks have the Wizards pick next year?
It's from us.
Oh.
When we traded for which we traded to get their pick to get Ousmane Dieng, we sent them a Pistons and a Wizards pick that were both like top 10 protected for a few years. So
I guess see that's kind of funny though because the Wizards are so bad you could get that Wizards first and then never get it.
Yeah, because I think it's going to just turn into 2 second round picks because they're going to be top 8 bad again in 2026 unless something drastically changes. Yeah. So I don't think the Blazers go for it, but for the Knicks, I rock with this.
I do too.
The Thunder trade big Duop Reith for 2 second round picks.
This is real content.
This is what we're here for. I wouldn't mind it. Duop's fun. Like that, I think that's really all I have to say. Duop Reith is a fun player. We need some size. I wouldn't mind it. I don't want to give up real assets for a stopgap center for the moment until Chet comes back. But like this, it's 2 second round picks. Sure, sign me up. For the Magic,
I like this.
Here's Kobe White again.
Kobe White to get Kobe White. Okay.
Yeah, Kobe White, Torrey Craig for Cole Anthony, Jet Howard, and 2 first round picks. it's not the worst deal in the world for the Bulls in terms of overall assets, but I just don't feel good about Cole Anthony or Jet Howard. Like Cole Anthony, again, he's been bad this season. I think he's just always gonna be like a decent bench scorer. Jet Howard's interesting.
I think you would need Anthony Black or De Silva in this trade.
To me, this really speaks to the Bulls being like, yeah, like it's Giddey and Io is like our backcourt of the future or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
I do like it for the Magic though. I like the idea. Kobe White's a good player for them. I like that.
Yeah,
him and Suggs would be good together.
It would be a fun backcourt. The Sixers.
Oh, holy moly! I like this.
Sixers getting Tari Eason would be now. This would be sick for Philly.
Now this is a banger.
KJ Martin, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick for Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore. Again, I don't see any reason.
2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks?
Yeah, 2026, 2028.
Oh yeah,
and neither of them are ours.
I don't see the Rockets doing this.
Yeah, the only reason the Rockets would do this, in my opinion, is if they were building up for that crazy big trade that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like that if they're trying to like get teams interested, that they think those 2 first-round picks would be more valuable than Eason or Whitmore.
Yeah, to me, that's what it's going to take. This would have to be like an extension of like a 3-team deal where the Rockets get like some big piece.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Sixers banger. Rockets, I don't think they do it unless something else would be attached.
Tar would be so sick for the.
I was really liking him when he got drafted. I was hoping the Sixers could get someone like him.
Phoenix is Tari Eason again. Tari Eason is trying to be sent everywhere. Tari Eason, a first-round pick, for Josh Okogie, and a first-round pick.
Wait, they receive a first-round pick, and Tari for Okogie? Nah. In no way.
Yeah, why?
Well, I guess the Suns would be getting their own back.
I just don't see any reason the Rockets consider this. Like the
article, that might be the worst Tari Eason trade yet. I think
the article is saying that like they get more picks back or get more of the Suns picks.
No, the Sixers one's better than that one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The Blazers, they get they send the Lakers.
I like Grant and Rob Williams. I like that.
For Jalen Hood-Schifino, D'Lo, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and 2 first-round picks.
If I'm the Blazers, I take this. I think the Lakers, because that's gonna be post LeBron, post AD. Neither one of them might even be playing still.
I also strongly consider this. If I'm the Blazers,
I take this in a heartbeat. This is a no-brainer for me. The Lakers, this is interesting. I do think that this makes Jeremy Grant and Rob Will in that roster. I really like it.
So you probably run out a starting lineup of they would probably do the thing they're doing now with Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect. Then who would you put?
Yeah, LeBron, Grant, and AD, and then you have Rob Will off the bench.
Yeah, probably. You would probably go with that. Your depth is thin.
It's a lengthy lineup, let me tell you. That is a lot of wingspan.
Yeah, it's just thin off the bench then.
I mean, you still have Rob Will and Rui Hachimura on the bench.
You got Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
You got Rui, Rob Will. I think you have to maybe Bronny gets in. I mean, Max Christie's played a little bit better.
Bro. What do you mean? They would need a guard. They'd have to find a guard somewhere.
Yeah. Quincy Oliveri could be him.
I mean, if the Lakers are trying to maximize the window, I think I'd take this. This might be my favorite trade yet from both sides. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind it either. Sorry, I just had a moment where my mouse, my keyboard, my AirPods, everything that is Bluetooth connected to my computer just disconnected all at once.
I think you're on your AirPod mic now, bro.
Yeah, probably did that to me. Yep, 100%.
Okay, we're better now.
Oh, we're back. We are back. We are no longer in the submarine.
Yeah,
I like that trade. I'm a fan.
Cool article so far. I kind of rock with it.
Oh, we're back to Larry Nance.
Nance, baby. Kings get Larry Nance, Trey Lyles, and 2 second-round picks. Love it for the Kings. Send it. I do it. If I'm the Hawks,
sure, whatever.
You get some assets back for Larry Nance. Sure, I don't hate it.
Larry Nance and Tari Eason are the mascots of this article. Let me tell you,
they really are. We should just call this episode should just be discussing Tari Eason and Larry Nance Jr. trades.
All right, what do we got next?
The Spurs get Chris Boucher, Kelly Olynyk for Zach Collins, and a 2025 first-round pick and a second-round pick.
Huh. But why?
Probably. I mean, it says that they shed Collins' salary, gives them more cap space next summer. If they were announcing free agents, so
they're dumping Zach Collins by throwing in a pick.
I don't hate this. I don't hate the idea of it. I would like the idea of Boucher and Kelly Olynyk there in San Antonio and kind of just clearing things up. You give up the lottery protected 2025 Charlotte pick that turns into second rounders. So you're basically giving up 3 second-round picks, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, I don't hate it. I think this is fine for both teams.
Yeah.
I will say real quick while we're on the topic of the Raptors, although we're going to get to them in a second, I guess they'll probably be the next team on. Yeah.
Hello. What's Lou Dort doing?
Lou Dort seems to be giving a nice hug to Chris Boucher.
He doesn't seem to be consenting to said hug. He doesn't seem to be very happy.
He seems a little bit concerned. I will admit. Yeah. So I was going to say for the Raptors, Jakob Poeltl has been crazy as of late.
Big trade candidate, in my opinion.
Considering that possibility of other big men. Jakob Poeltl, if the Lakers are looking for a talented big, they should consider Jakob Poeltl. Although I don't know if they have what the Raptors are looking for to give up. The Raptors get Ousmane Dieng and Malevi Let. Unfortunately, we have recently cut him, so this makes this a little bit more difficult.
Unlucky. You sign him back just to send him to Toronto.
And funnily enough, the guy that we just signed, the big man that I was talking about, Brendan Carlson, he actually came over from the Raptors G League team, so we kind of already stole a big from them. But this is us getting Chris Boucher or Kelly Olynyk.
I don't hate that. I mean,
I wouldn't mind it. I don't want to give up Ooze in that trade, though. Like, if I could find some other way to make that work, then sure.
I think those are both good. Those are types of moves, though. I think the Thunder should get a player like that, 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them.
All right, what's next?
We got the Utah Jazz. It's Cole Anthony, Tristan Da Silva, and a first-round pick and a second-round pick for Colin Sexton. Ooh, Sexton in Orlando. I rock with that. I rock with that a ton.
I think is that a lot for Sexton, you think? I feel like that's more than some of these other, like, I feel like that's kind of rivaling like the Kobe White package we saw earlier.
Yeah, you might not have to give up that much.
Worth more than White or about the same?
I don't think he's worth as much as Kobe White is with his trade value. But I mean, like, I
do like the fit though a lot.
I do like the fit. If I'm the Magic, this is something I would definitely consider because Sexton is really, really good. I would try to probably keep, although it's your 2026 first round pick, like, you're going to be good next year. You're going to be great next year.
Yeah, the whole point. Palace should be getting better. Screw it. They're out. I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm willing to take this deal if I'm the Magic.
I agree.
Okay.
Now we're down to the Wizards. What banger do we got for the Wizards? Wait, I was going to tell you to guess the player, but it looks like it's Kuzma.
I was going to say I was going to guess Kuzma, Marcus Smart because they're in the picture. The Wizards get John Conchar, Marcus Smart, Vince Williams in a first-round pick. The Grizzlies get Kuzma and Patrick Baldwin Jr. I'm saying absolutely no from the Grizzlies. Kuzma has been awful this season.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad.
He's been terrible. So I'm not giving up Vince Williams, who's good, and a first-round pick, and Marcus Smart, all for Kyle Kuzma, who's been terrible. I'm not doing it. I just don't like his fit with that team that much as Ryan has gone full blurry mode.
Yeah, I went to let our dog in the room, and my camera went blurry as I moved out of frame to let the dog in the room.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, so Luna, thanks a lot for ruining our quality.
Classic Luna ruining the podcast.
It was her birthday yesterday, though, so shout out Luna. Happy birthday, Luna.
Yeah, shout out Luna. We appreciate you.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm really interested in this. I still think they kind of just need to get healthy. If I'm the Wizards, though, I'm definitely trying to move off of Kuzma if I can, although the value is low. So if he has like a good stretch or if by the deadline he's like playing well, I'm trying to do whatever I can.
I think I'm just going to blur. I'm just blurring out of this podcast, I think.
Ryan's fading away.
So bad.
Ryan's fading away, so maybe it's time to call the pod. But yeah, that's all 30 teams. Shout out to, I think it was Dan Favale, who I've actually talked to before on my Thunder podcast, so shout out to him.
Thanks. So when you're calling the trades trash, just remember that Connor knows them.
I didn't agree with a lot of the trades, but it's so tough to make a trade for every single NBA team. Like, a lot of teams just don't need to make trades yet or aren't ready to make deals. So he did a great job with the article. Definitely make sure to go and check it out if you want to see it in more detail and see the reasoning behind some of the deals. But yeah, that's all we've got for right now for this episode. Cavaliers were down by like 20 and have brought to within 4 against the Celtics.
You totally called that.
I called that. But we appreciate you all watching. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you're here on the channel. If you're over on podcast platforms, make sure to go ahead and rate 5 stars, download all that stuff. And yeah, Ryan, you got anything you want to go and wrap up with?
Nah, man. Other than the fact I'm fading away, apparently.
Ryan,
like I'm about to get Thanos snapped any second here.
I was gonna say Ryan got snapped by Thanos, so it's unfortunate. Next time it'll have to be a one-man game because Ryan's now gone.
I will say though, I think it's funny how you said that Homeboy was on your Thunder podcast and then he traded Aaron Wiggins away for like Maxi Kleber, and that was like your least favorite thing. So
yeah, that one hurt my soul. I can't lie, but we appreciate y'all as always. Take care. Peace.